Redditors who went to high school with a celebrity. What were they like before they were famous? Went to high school with Drake. He put 3 separate dollars into a vending machine before he realized it was broken. At that point, he was famous as the wheelchair guy from Degrassi. Went to school with Lorde, Takapuna grammar. She wasn't particularly cool or weird, but when we were 17, she hit on my friend at a party and he was like, "You're 14, F off." I was thinking, I had no idea Lorde's real name was so weird. I need some sleep. My dad went to high school with the voice of Patrick Star. He was actually a really smart, popular, nice guy. He was also naturally goofy, as you might expect. I can't imagine what the person would look like, because all I can picture is a star. He was also Marshall's dad on How I Met Your Mother. Taylor Lautner went to my high school. He was a year ahead. He was also a kind of weird kid. I remember him rolling around on the floor in his video production class. There was also that time the Elephant Bar was mobbed with paparazzi in town because he went there with his then girlfriend Taylor Swift. I also rented a library book with Ashley Tisdale's name in it. Good old Santa Clarita. My dad went to the same high school as Steve Harvey and told me he couldn't believe it when he discovered he was famous because Steve hardly ever said anything and was the shy kid. He'd always confidently give answers in class, only to find out that they were wrong. I was a year behind Zach Galifianakis in elementary and high school. He seems like pretty much the exact same guy he was years ago. Down to earth, super funny, and a little goofy. He was also a Boy Scout. Boy Scout totally describes this guy. At some point, he made friends with a homeless woman. He got her an apartment and paid her expenses for quite a period of time. He has also brought her along to several of his movie premieres. I also thought Katy Perry, then Katie Hudson, was kind of an idiot when we were in high school together. Then she dropped out after about 6 months, got her GED, and made millions. Guess she was smarter than I thought. My boyfriend's mother was Sandra Bullock's college roommate at ECU. She said that Sandy was very driven and serious about her work, which is probably why she is the accomplished actress she is today. Random Sandra Bullock fact, she speaks almost impeccable German. There is a German prize she won, and her whole speech was spoken freely and almost without fault or even an inclination that she lived in America. Didn't go to school with him, but Eminem did a speech at my school when I was about 14. I walked out of the auditorium halfway through to go hang out with my then girlfriend. After his speech, Eminem toured the school. My girlfriend and I saw him and jokingly called out his name, to which he heard us and came over to chat for a few minutes. Pretty cool reward for skipping class and hanging out in the halls. Very down-to-earth guy. Never met Taylor Swift in person, but we had lots of friends in common. They all didn't like her because she was really annoying and super odd. Do they count as friends if they didn't like her? Good point. I guess classmates would be a better description. I think a lot were friends to her face. I'm not a fan, but I've always heard a lot of her early music was pretty closely based off her high school experience. Backstabbing people, being jerks, etc. Douche boyfriend. I heard similar stories involving her, so they are probably true. My mom went to high school in Michigan with Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell. She said they were always making movies and were both pretty big dorks, but everybody loved them. She even showed me old pictures of them filming the school news in her yearbooks. Frank Abagnale is my dad's cousin. We were at a family wedding, and he was telling us, yeah, they're making a movie about my life. Leonardo DiCaprio is playing me. He's a professional liar, so we all just laughed at him. Then Catch Me If You Can came out. This guy's too smooth. I watched a video of him speak at Google and noticed he never says or It was a speech, but is this the way he speaks casually? I thought the same thing when I heard the real Wolf of Wall Street guy speak. He's just so charismatic that of course he got away with that. Apparently DiCaprio is typecast as a sociopath. Zac Efron went to a neighboring high school. He dated a girl from my school for a while. I remember him coming to some school dances. My wife was also in his grade at his school. He was a bit nerdy, but a nice guy. Pretty much just a normal dude from nowhere that ended up mega famous. I went to Northwestern with David Schwimmer. He lived with my best friend in a house after graduating. He's an outstanding actor with a huge range. Only actor ever to make me tear up in the middle of a play. Too bad he's been so typecast now. Nice guy. In the words of my Year 12 classics teacher, Kylie Minogue was really smart and lovely. Danny Minogue was just lovely. I don't know who either of those people are, but I really like that quote. Kylie Minogue is a huge global pop star everywhere except America. She tried to break into the American market a few times. Hits like Locomotion and Can't Get You Out of My Head were 2 notable US hits. Her sister Danny Minogue is known more for her acting than her singing, but she's been successful in her own right. My grandma went to the same high school as James Dean. She said he was chill and charismatic, was kind of cocky as a result though because he knew he was hot stuff. My dad used to be a punk drummer in California. Knew Green Day when they were first starting out. He said the bandmates were cool, but the lead singer was a pouty pig that would often cancel or storm off if people he didn't like were at his concerts or parties. Didn't have thick skin when it came to some criticisms either. Not a super famous connection, but Avril Lavigne, Canadian musician, was the Batgirl for my baseball team. She was a cute kid and respectful. It was years later when she had a hit song that I realized it was actually her. James Corden. God knows he was a show-off. When a bunch of 10 to 11-year-old kids are trying to get a school play together, it helps if you don't start making up your own lines and throwing everyone into a state of utter confusion. Cool, a topic I can contribute to. Went to high school with John Legend. He was a year older than me. He was clearly very talented, lead role in most school plays, musical acts at talent shows, etc. But he was basically just a really nice, humble guy. I wasn't friends with him, but I was an athlete who hung out with the theater crowd. I helped on set construction and sound for shows. He was a basketball fan and came to most of our school's games. His cousin was also on the team and a year younger than me. I went to high school with Hayden Christensen before he was in Star Wars. He was artsy and seemed shy, spent his time in the drama department, and was a nice guy from every memory I have. Bo Burnham, literally the same person. Did people really call him the tie-dye kid? Kinda. Nobody really understood how famous he was. We just were told he was well known. Chloe Moritz is from my hometown, but is a good bit younger than I am. She went to my ballet school briefly, and her family was friends with one of my best friend's family growing up, so I was around her a good bit. She would have been maybe 6 to 8 at the time, and she was just a cute, polite, kind of shy kid. There was some drama that caused her family to move to Atlanta and then New York, and I remember her older brother was the ham of the family that wanted to get into acting first. I was surprised when I heard that she was the one who'd gotten famous out of them. The gaudy McMansion her dad had built at the front lot of the local rich people subdivision still sits vacant, and one time my friends and I got drunk and went skinny dipping in the Mortz's pool in high school. I don't mean to sound snarky, it really is a weird house. Brad Pitt went to my high school when my mom was there. She said he was really nice and kind of a nerd, hung out with the other theater kids mostly. I can't picture him as a theater kid. I always felt like he was just a really good-looking guy who happened to fall into acting and everything just worked out for him. Went to junior high and high school with Taylor Lautner. Played football together my freshman year. Dude was really nice and a bit awkward. This was before the whole Twilight thing, and he was most famous for Shark Boy and Lava Girl. He seemed pretty much what you expect a theater kid to be like, but really nice dude overall, pretty quiet, played Pokemon Leaf Green together a few times. Was friends with Natalie Portman in first grade, had a fake fur coat. Her mom would pack her lunch in lots of little containers with instructions on how to assemble them. That's all I remember. I just pictured a hand-drawn IKEA manual. Went to primary school with Hugh Jackman. Total class act and always had the makings of someone who would be successful. He used to be a gym teacher. There's a video of him on the red carpet and he recognizes one of his former students and goes up to chat. I'd share it, but I'm at work. Should be an easy YouTube search. Seems like a genuine guy. Was a freshman when Chris Pratt was a senior. We didn't interact much, but he was in a lot of the assemblies and I did tech theater for a play he was in. He was a goofball. Lots of charisma, laid back, class clown. About what you'd expect seeing him now. Tommy Hilfiger, who was basically regarded as a trashy a-hole. He had approximately 100 siblings, and I think they were all kind of that way. Went to high school with Mac Miller. Dude was very dedicated. He was selling CDs in school and always had posters up and stuff. We weren't really in the same social circles, but we had some classes together. He was a goof and generally good guy. R.I.P. I know a girl who used to date him before he got famous. They stayed friends after breaking up, even after he started taking off. I've never heard of anyone having anything bad to say about Mac. Truly a good man. R.I.P. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, press the like button, and don't forget to watch our other videos.